man. You have a really dope catalog, and we often on Twitter when we get in our group chats amongst ourselves, me, the homie Charlemagne, the homie B Dot, the homie Hovain, we debate about what the best Rose album is. So I wanted to bring out your albums, and I wanted to see if Rick Ross can rank in order and favorite your albums, your 10 albums now.
Let me see them.
Check them out.
You know,
and
of course,
I'll just lay them out in a certain order so the fans can see it.
I create the music based on where I'm at in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the Port of Miami was, I wanted to create this album and have my city name in the album. And, if it didn't do good, I would always be a hood star forever.
Right.
And it most definitely became the most significant. By the time I was at my third album, I understood that I would be challenged. But I realized by this album, you're going to have to put in some work. Y'all going to have to put All Black back on,
Right.
And let them know it's much deeper than rap. Right. So I'm going to put this right there. Mastermind, this was a very dope album. This was the album where I really took a lot of paper that I was doing with other things and really began to invest. That's where, the Wingstop franchises came in, Checkers, one time for the beard oil, Rich by Rick Ross. Show me the beard oil. I love Khaled for doing that.
Shout out Khaled.
Yeah, shout out Khaled. And, Teflon Don, this was the album where I knew I was going to take over the game. Mm. I went in Def Jam, I broke the bank.
Most certainly.
I told them, whatever y'all was thinking before, forget about it. Do yourself the biggest favor and quadruple that. Then multiply it by 2. Then whatever the taxes would have been, put that on top.
That's that Freemason on there. I'm Not a Star. BMF. On Teflon. That's a classic.
God Forgives, I Don't. This right here was basically after making all the other things clear. I just wanted you to know I still don't forgive you. God forgives, I don't. And if I did catch you down bad in the alley, I would rather it be you than me. Who deserves, it's so many ways I could spin that, but rather you than me. It just applied, you know what I mean? Because that's how we gotta hustle. This album right here, Triller, man, it might be one, this is one of my best, I don't know, one of my favorites. I was just a youngster. I was in the back of my first Maybach. They digitally removed my blunt because I told them I wanted to be smoking. So if you wonder why my hands was like that, I had a nice L rolled up, and it tasted so good that I didn't even mind. The photo shoot was, I forgot how many hours. I was in a parking lot in the middle of Carol City, the flea market parking lot that's no longer there. They knocked it down, but that was just a monumental moment for me. The Black Market, this is got some potent music on here, Silk Road, and so this was one of those reflective albums where I wanted the music to move at a slower pace and just talk with the words. And that's what I did. Hood Billionaire, this that Ghetto Rich record. I collaborated with a bunch of Memphis artists for this album. Yeah. I launched maybe 5 different franchises in Memphis. And while I was in Memphis, I said I want to do something different for this market. I collaborated with K. Michelle. I did Elvis Presley Boulevard. Yeah. I collaborated with Yo Gotti. I did the Elvis Presley Boulevard remix with MJG, with Project Pat, with, and the list goes on. So it was maybe 4 or 5 records with just Memphis artists, and I never made that a big deal, but I just wanted to do something different.
An important city for hip hop, historical, important city for music in general.
Most definitely.
But
most definitely. Suave House Records.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this right here, August 9th, Port of Miami 2. I'm going to let you all judge where this stand. I know me personally, this is most definitely a significant album. And to me, what was dope was when you look at the album covers,
right?
It was all about my city and where I was from, and the medallion that I wore was Triple C, Carol City Cartel, my homie. And I lost one of my closest homies, so I put his face in the medallion, you know what I mean? And so here we are.